What up, YouTube? Knowledge is self-determination. And today, I want to talk about courage and ask a question. What does courage mean to you? Now, the most popular usage of the word courage I've found has always been this. Courage is the willingness to act in spite of fear, or courage is acting in spite of fear. Whatever way you decide to word it or put it. And what I think is that in the Black community, there is a huge lack of courage in our community. And I'm talking about courage today because, and now I would say that this kind of started with Obama, when President Obama was elected, when Barack Obama was elected to the office of the presidency. The rise in white supremacist hate groups was exponential, right? The numbers in these groups rose exponentially, and then the individual organizations themselves grew in number, sprung up all around the country, all over the country. And this happened consistently throughout his 2 terms as president. And now we have a person like Donald Trump in the office of the presidency, someone who is a white supremacist, who has a cabinet full of white supremacists in a country that is predominantly white supremacists. And we see every day more and more that they are becoming more emboldened with their white supremacy, so much so that they are literally lashing out at black people. I know of, at the moment, 2 situations where 2 separate black individuals on 2 separate dates, and I believe in 2 separate states in this country, were attacked by white people with knives, a male and a female. I just posted a video about Kendra Shanice Reed, who was found hung in North Carolina, a very racist state. As I've said before, the East Coast is very racist, especially Maryland, Baltimore, the Eastern Shore, DC, Western Maryland, like Cumberland, places like that, where you can go there and find towns where you won't see a single black person there. Very racist places. Cumberland is like literally right over the hill from Western Virginia, and we've all heard stories about Western Virginia. The hills have eyes and all that kind of shit, right? But they become more and more emboldened. Judges, reporters, school teachers, Congress people, senators. I mean, from the lowest person on the totem pole to somebody who has a pretty significant position, quite possibly in government. We're seeing it all over the place. And it's happening more and more. See, we are too busy as a people trying to change the hearts and minds of people in the world. And we need to stop doing that. We need to protect ourselves. I've said before, and I'll say it again, I am a huge fan and proponent of self-defense. Any martial art that you can learn and apply in real time, in real life situations, you need to learn it. You need to learn ASAP. Because see, they're not playing with us. They hate us. They've always hated us. They've had hundreds of years to get used to the idea of killing us and not having any remorse or empathy for that. They have pretty much overtaken the police departments. And as we can see, they do not hesitate to eliminate us whenever they get the chance or the opportunity to do so, irrespective of whether their lives are in danger or not. They do not miss an opportunity a lot of times. And it's happening more and more. There was just an incident, I can't even remember the state, but this is one of the more popularly known incidents where a gentleman, white gentleman, was at a pool party where it was mostly black and I would say people of Latin descent there, black and brown people. The guy, he shot 7 people, killed 1 person, or he shot 8 people and killed 1 person. It was 4 black men, I think 3 black women and 1 Latina woman, I believe, that was injured. But I think it was one of the black women that was actually murdered by this guy. White supremacists, because of some riff he had with his girlfriend. This is why he saw fit to, attack this group of non-white people. And the police say they had no reason to believe that this was this attack was racially motivated. But he didn't go where there were majority white people and open up fire on them, right? But where's the courage at in the black community? Where is the courage? Because where you do see a select handful of celebrities who actually use their platform to speak out against these injustices. Colin Kaepernick, that was courageous of him. D.L. Hughley, that's courageous. You have people like Dr. Claude Anderson, Boyce Watkins, so on and so forth. You had the brothers in the LDPC, people who speak out against the injustices that continue to masquerade as American freedom and democracy. But where's the courage in the black community at? Because a lot of these dudes don't have any courage. They're chumps, they're suckers, they're lame. Our women and children are being victimized, brutalized, and that's always been the case for these individuals. They always pick what they believe are the weakest links, at least physically, and lash out at them. But I'm getting sick of that. I'm getting tired of that being the narrative. I'm getting tired of my people living in fear and waiting for somebody to surfboard on a fucking cloud and swoop down and save them. I'm not trying to diss anybody's worldview, but you gotta stop living your life waiting for somebody else to solve these problems for you, because it's not gonna happen. White supremacy is unapologetic. You understand? Even if you run across a white supremacist who may not necessarily hate you enough to want to physically hurt you, they don't care what happens to you at the hands of someone else who thinks like they do. You understand? They are the enemy. I don't care how nice they are to you. I don't care how cordial they are to you at work. They are the enemy. They are the enemy. And my thing is, if you can feel so emboldened as to let me know that not only do you not care about my people or what happens to us, but you would actually use the myth of black on black crime to try and rebuke or use as a rebuttal to me questioning the behavior of police officers in our country murdering unarmed and innocent black people. You are my fucking enemy if you say things like that. If you try to refute what is actually happening with the illusion of black on black crime. And I say illusion because crime is crime, period. Every demographic has its own crime. And the people within that demographic usually stay in that demographic and commit crimes. Basically, the people you live around or would know the people who are more familiar with you are most likely the ones to victimize you, basically. I don't have a law degree, I don't work in the criminal justice field at all, but common sense tells you that if you've grown up around crime, you see that. I grew up around crime, so I've seen that. I've been a witness to that. Courage is, being able to stare death in the face, not lose your cool, and respond appropriately in that situation. Now, I'm not telling people to go out and put their lives on the line to prove how much courage they have or how brave they are, because that's just stupid. What I'm talking about is something that happens sporadically without you being aware of it being ready to happen. How do you respond in that situation? How do you respond in that situation? This quote from the song Enemy with Big L and Fat Joe on Big L's album that was released after his death, called The Big Picture. The soundbite at the end of that song goes like this: what would you do if a vicious enemy suddenly started coming at you, armed to the teeth and ready to kill you? The first time I heard that soundbite, I thought that was one of the most profound things that I'd ever heard in my life, because I feel as though my life has geared me towards combating, being a combatant all my life, being faced with my own mortality, being put in situations where your fight or flight reflex is all you have to determine the outcome of a situation. Who are you at the end of the day? What kind of man are you at the end of the day? Are you going to stand and fight for what you believe in? Or are you going to tuck your tail between your legs and run home and crawl up under your mama like a girl, like a punk, like a sucker? And I gotta say real quick, black women in this country have been showing more testicular fortitude lately in light of the recent events that have been happening racially in this country than a lot of the men. And that's a fucking shame. Because even if they do outnumber us 5-1, we should still be the loudest voices in the street. Right? But anyway, take this situation for example, right? Now, I was on the East Coast in Baltimore, right? On Dole Avenue. Anybody listening? On Dole Avenue is, inner city, really inner city, and it's not that far away from Park Heights, right? So, me and two dudes that I was tight with. One of the dudes I'm still pretty cool with, we still chit chat every now and then, but we were standing outside the apartment building one night, right? It's like 2-3 o'clock in the morning. My one man was geeked out over his girl or whatever, she hadn't come home, blah, blah, blah. So me and my other man were outside, just talking to him or whatever, chilling, right? So we got approached. And the street was a little dark in certain areas, but we got approached, right? I had my back to the street. I was facing the building. These two dudes were standing on the stoop with their back to the building facing the street. So these two cats, walk up, because I heard the footsteps and I looked over my shoulder, turned around to see who it was, because I've always developed a habit at an early age. Maybe one day I'll actually get into that story. But whenever I am in an open space, whenever I am in the streets, I am outside of a home that I feel comfortable or safe in, I'm constantly, scanning the area, gauging the distance of people, looking at people, sizing them up. I'm always doing that because that's what my life has taught me I need to do in order to be prepared. I'm not always in the mood to want to fight or, or be combative. However, this is what I do to basically stay on point. There's nothing wrong with staying on point. I always, I don't have to be in battle mode in order to scan the area for danger. I don't have to do that. But I can flip that switch at any given moment and, be ready to defend and protect myself at all costs, right? Now, so as these brothers approach, I turn and face the street. Now they're coming towards us. They cut across the grass and cut towards us. There's a tree right there, so it provided even more shading, right? And this was in the middle of the night, like I said. So it's two brothers, two dudes walk up to us, right? So one kid, has his hand over his face, to try to hide his face or whatever, instead of wearing a fucking mask or whatever. Steps right to me, points the burner right to my face, with what looked to be Mac 10s are kind of big. It looked to be like a Uzi for real. Now in hindsight being 2020, I don't even think the gun was real. But I'm gonna get to that though. So guy points the gun straight to. I put my hands up, I glance behind me, I see the other two dudes with their hands up or whatever, right? So the other cat, he's, y'all know what time it is. Y'all know, man, the script. You from the streets or whatever, the script. You know what time it is. You know what I'm saying? Run your pockets, basically. Blah, blah, blah. So I'm mad. I'm mad because I don't like getting robbed, mind you. And nobody should ever like getting robbed, but I'm mad because to me, stick-up kids are bottom feeders. You know what I'm saying? You're a fucking bottom feeder in my opinion. Anyway, so this dude, checking everybody's pockets or whatever. Check the two dudes' pockets behind me, check my pockets. Got to me, check my pockets, whatever. Now, in fact, he got to me first. My bad, he got to me first. Check my pockets. All I had on was a pair of sweats. You know what I'm saying? A jacket, because it's 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm outside my apartment. I don't need any money. I don't need a watch on. I don't need money in my pocket. For what? I'm not going anywhere. So this dude, like, you don't have no money in your pocket? I'm like, no, the fuck I need money for? It's fucking 3 o'clock in the morning. Where the fuck am I going? I'm home. You know what I'm saying? So, in the midst of that interaction, now mind you, these two dudes, one of the dudes, it's like, I say, how big was fucking Bill Big Ass? He was what? Damn, I didn't mean to say the kids. Fuck it, I don't care, fuck him. How tall was Bill? Bill was like, what, 6'2", 6'3", like 280? And it wasn't muscle. He was solid, but it wasn't muscle. You know what I'm saying? But in any event, like a fucking Wile E. Coyote cartoon, these motherfuckers got into the door, both of them. And all I saw was a plume of fucking smoke, like a cartoon. Alright, so anyway, they run. Now, the first thing that came to my mind, part of my French was, these bitch ass niggas. I actually recall saying that out loud, like these bitch ass niggas. So I'm staring at the dude now. You know what I'm saying? They got the gun. Now my first thought was, as soon as this motherfucker blinked, I'ma knock his ass out. I'ma smack the gun and I'ma sting his ass, right? And he started getting scared because I actually started like kind of inching towards him, closer and closer. He was terrified. I could tell he was terrified. The gun started shaking in his hand, some more shit, right? Terrified. He was scared shitless. You know what I'm saying? Probably his first time doing that shit or whatever. I mean, but the unknown variable in that equation is that I don't know if the other cat had a gun on him, right? So anyway, the dude, these cats running the building, you know what I'm saying? Because mind you, the interaction was going on or whatever. After that little dialogue between me and him, he checked their pockets and shit. He came back to me, they run in the building or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I'm heated at this point with these two kids, right? I'm steaming, I'm burnt over this. Now, these two dudes, they gone now. So the kid was like, yo, yo, just go ahead, yo, just go ahead. I mean, just turn around and go ahead. I'm like, man, yo, I'm not turning my back. Nobody pointing no motherfucking gun at me. So I put my hands down, I back up the steps. You know what I'm saying? I feel for the handle of the door. I watch these motherfuckers walk off. I go in the door, open the door, go in the door. Now, mind you, one of the kids that I was standing outside with, he lived in the building. This dude was so terrified that he ran past his own apartment, ran all the way, because it was only it was only about 2 stories high. It was the landing, the stairs, the first level of apartments, and then the landing, the stairs, the landing, and then the next level of apartments, right? So it was only 2 stories, really. He ran past his apartment and started banging on the old lady door that was above my apartment, because it was only, 6 apartments in that building. It was pretty small in that particular building, but it was a pretty big complex, though. So I had to tell him, yo, stop banging on stop banging on Miss Jackie. What the fuck is wrong with you? The other dude had ran in my apartment and barricaded his big ass up against the fucking door. I had to tell his big ass to get the fuck out of my apartment. So, anyway, blah, blah, blah. Somebody had called the police. Neither one of us called the police. But more than likely, Miss Jackie called the police on this dumbass for banging on her door, thinking somebody was trying to get in her house or whatever, right? So, I'm asking these dudes like, yo, what the fuck happened? What the fuck y'all running for? Now, the kid that ran in my, big dumbass, ran in my apartment, he tells me, like, yo, I don't know, man. The first thing I was thinking was run. He like, yo, I'm like, yo, y'all motherfuckers left me out there with a gun pointed straight to my fucking melon. He says, I thought we were all on the same page. Same page? Nigga, we not even reading from the same motherfucking book. Same page? Yo, we are not reading from the same book. Cause the first thing I thought was, it's 2 of them, it's 1 gun, and it's 3 of us. They done fucked up. Cause mind you know what I'm saying? The kid Bill, on his tough guy shit, talking, how many dudes he done clapped, all this shit, you know what I'm saying? How tough he was, how many dudes he done knocked out, and this, that, and the third. You know what I mean? On this straight G shit, you feel me? On the straight G shit. He's a tough guy, bona fide gangster in his mind, right? First motherfucker that ran. The other kid, I can't give him such a hard way to go about that, because he had told me long before that, he was terrified of guns. Although I was mad that he left me, that he ran, it was easier for me to forgive his discretions, you know what I'm saying, so to speak, more so than the other kid, because he put himself up in the light of being a fucking tough guy, a gangster, a thug, and he was a pussy. It makes you even more of a pussy when you talk that tough shit, and then when it's time for you to show your mettle, you know what I'm saying, you tuck your tails and you run like a bitch, right? So, my whole thing is, imagine this. Imagine, white supremacists become more bold, more emboldened. They have more courage now to come out and start threatening you with violence. Imagine that. Imagine 2 white dudes walking up to you and trying to rob you or acting like they're gonna rob you. Now, mind you. Now, again, I'm not telling anybody to stand up to somebody with a gun in their face. I've had years of combat training, so my whole thing is I got nothing but time and opportunity. Any opportunity I see to protect and defend my life, I'm going to take that opportunity. You understand what I'm saying? I'm going to take that opportunity. So, with that being said, learn how to protect yourself, because I'm not telling anybody to do what I did. What I'm saying is, if you have no other choice, what will you do when that one day comes when it's 2 white boys pulling a gun on you? I apologize for that. I shouldn't say white boys, 2 white supremacists, because they don't necessarily have to be white supremacists. What do you do? Now, those 2 dudes that tried to rob us that night, they were white supremacists, because you're doing this in your own community to your own people. You're a white supremacist because you're using your position to keep me down, right? So anyway, what do you do? Who are you at the end of the day? What kind of man are you? Do you stand your ground and wait for your opportunity to strike out and defend and protect yourself and stand up for your honor as a man? Or do you run and possibly get shot in the back? Do you run and get your comrades' brains blown out because he was man enough not to run? You were scared and you didn't even know if there was an immediate threat. You didn't even wait to gauge the situation appropriately before you decided to act. And cowardice. So that's my question. Who are you? That's what I mean by courage. Who are you? I'm not saying I'm the bravest dude on the planet, but I know for a fact, I look at it like the law of the jungle. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to work for this meal. I'm not easy pickings for anybody. You're going to work for this meal. When it comes to you and me, you're going to work for it. You're not getting anything from me easily. Especially my life. I'm going to go down fighting like my life depends on it, if my life depends on it. I mean, it's nothing easy coming your way over here. That's all I'm saying. Who are you at the end of the day? Who are you? What kind of man are you? What do you do? You understand what I'm saying? What do you do when the enemy is standing in front of you with a gun pointed to your melon? You don't know what his intent is. But if he has a gun pointed to your face, I can tell you his intent is nothing positive towards you. What do you do? Who are you as a man? Who are you? Do you have the courage to stand up like Colin Kaepernick and put his career and millions of dollars on the line to stand up for what he believes in? Because a lot of you motherfuckers still pledge allegiance to the flag. Remember, the 100-to-1 disparity in the judicial system. Obama was able to get it down to 18-to-1. We live in a country that is okay with a actual bias and prejudice towards us in the judicial system when it comes to prosecuting criminal cases. There is an actual practice in place right now that guarantees that we're going to be punished more harshly than white people or other non-black races. We live in a country that's okay with that. Democrats and Republicans, we are surrounded by the enemy. Little Bobby Hutton, courage. Medgar Evers, courage. Huey P. Newton, courage. Malcolm, Martin, the list goes on and on. Assata Shakur, who deserves way more respect than this fucking clown Whack 100 is giving her. Courage. And let me speak on that real quick with Assata Shakur. Courage. Courage. True courage. I don't know the exact number of Panther brothers she got off, but this woman, to my knowledge, didn't go to Harvard Law School. Didn't go to law school at all. I don't know if she has a law degree or passed the bar in any state. Walked into a courtroom prepared to defend, between 10 and 20 of her Black Panther brothers. Not only did she win, but she got them fully acquitted and walked out of that courtroom with all those brothers free. Courage. 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 You understand what I'm saying? This woman was, her brothers, Black Panthers, broke her out of prison. Courage. Because they knew that it was, that the charges that they had on her were false. She's been a political refugee ever since. Been in political asylum ever since in Cuba. Courage. You people, you cats nowadays don't know what that shit really is, man. Whether it's from the aspect of the streets or whether it's the aspect of being a freedom fighter. You don't know what it is. You don't know what it is. And as a man, you cannot gain courage from a woman. I should rephrase that. A woman can't teach you as a man the type of courage you need as a man. Now, there are strong sisters out there that can teach you the definition of courage and give you a lot of examples, like a sister like Assata Shakur did for her son. But as a woman, she can't give you that in what you need instilled from you by a man. She can lead you to examples. She can break down the definition of it. She can try to give you examples the best way she can. But you need male role models that are giving you examples of what true male courage is. What are you at the end of the day? Are you a mouse or a man? What are you? What are you? Who are you? At the end of the day, who are you as a man? What kind of man do you want to be? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, courage isn't something that you go to the Wizard of fucking Oz for. It's not something that you wake up one day and it comes as easy as smoking a cigarette. No. You develop that all your entire life. Your entire life builds you up to that moment. It doesn't just happen overnight. It's not magic. Who are you? If you don't have any courage, how are you going to gain some? Who are you going to be for your people in the future? Who are you going to be for your sons and your daughters? You know what I'm saying? When white supremacy starts to become even more emboldened, you start walking up to you in the streets and slapping you in the fucking mouth. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Because I don't have a problem letting my enemies know that I know that they are who they are and that they are my enemy. I have no problem. I'm not dealing with people at all. I have no problem with that. If you can be bold enough to let me know how you feel or do not feel about my people or do not care about my people, I can let you know how I feel about you. You know what I'm saying? But where's your courage, black people? Where's your courage, black people? Where is it? Because I gotta tell you, I'm finding it real hard to see the courage in a lot of you so-called men out here. I'm finding it real hard to see the courage. Finding it real hard to see it. A lot of you dudes don't know what it really means to have courage. Hopefully, it won't be too late for you when the time comes for you to show who you really are in the face of danger. Knowledge of self-determination. Peace.